Hey guys, I got the new X-Wing miniatures game core set from the Force Awakens. There it is right there. This is the brand new core set for the game. If you are just getting into X-Wing, this is a great way to start. If you are a veteran player, you gotta pick it up because look at that. New TIE Fighters, new X-Wing. This is the T-70 X-Wing from the Force Awakens film. These are the new First Order TIE Fighters from the Force Awakens film. Let's take a look at this thing. First thing we're going to do is we're going to pull out these ships. Here's the X-Wing. Now this is very similar to the original X-Wing, but if you look, the engines are different. They're cut in half like the Ralph McQuarrie style. The nose is a little different. The back part's a little different there. The wings, if you'll notice, you kind of have the front half and the back half. And if they were to collapse, it would kind of make one wing. But overall, very, very similar to the original X-Wing, but a slightly different design and a good paint job. Kind of disappointed we didn't get the black and orange, Poe Dameron's X-Wing. Now this is a really, really nice paint job. As I look at this thing, it's so much more beautiful than in the pictures I've seen. A little bit of shading, a little bit of red there on the top of the cockpit. It's like a really deep, dark red, though. I wonder if that was supposed to be there or if it's part of the actual, maybe it's there in the films. Same kind of red we get over the cockpit there. But overall, I think this is very similar to the X-Wing model we already have. The only thing different is I think the back is a little bit wider of an engine. And then there's two of these, and the other one is exactly the same. So, and then of course we've got our pegs and our bases and all that stuff. So I'm going to set this to the side. We're going to pull out our cardboard here. Now, this is a core set. This has everything you need to play X-Wing, but it's also an update to the game in some subtle ways. If you already have the core set, you don't need this game, but you've got like all your maneuvers. Now, in this game, this isn't really an introduction to the game. I'll do another separate video for that. But in the original core set, you had a 3-turn maneuver. But if you'll notice on these new turn maneuvers, this also has the S loop, indicating that this is both used for a turn or the special S loop maneuver, which is part of some other expansions as well as outlined in the rule book. Now we have the Resistance and First Order are sub-factions in this game. Resistance works with the Rebels, First Order works with the Imperial, and they're in basically the same umbrella of factions. We've got our different dials, our different cardboard templates there, and they're pretty much the same type of, these X-Wings have an extra shield, these TIE Fighters have an extra shield, and they have some extra stuff on the actions that they can take. For example, these X-Wings have boost, which is awesome, and these TIE Fighters have target lock, which TIE Fighters didn't have before, unless of course you gave it to them. Now let's look at the dials. All right, this is the X-Wing's dial, the T-70 X-Wing. Still an X-Wing, but specifically it's a T-70. He's got he's got his short one, he doesn't have a hard one. He's got all his 2s. He's got all his 3s, plus this new 3 maneuver right there. Now do you see that symbol? That's all new in this edition of the game, in this new core set. And that is called the T-roll, or the Talon roll, or the Troll, so to speak. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. Now the TIE Fighters here have, they still have the hard ones. They have all their 2s. All their 2s are green. They have all their 3s. And they have a 4 and a 5 straight, 4K turn, and then they have the 2 S loop. Seigneur's loop or Segnor's loop, however you pronounce it. But yeah, so that's going to be using the soft turn, the soft 2 turn. And now if we look at the hard 2s, the hard 1, 2, and 3, we can see that those are also referenced that they can be used for the Talon roll. Very cool. And no change to our 5 or 4s. We do have different asteroids. Now granted, these are mostly the same as our old asteroids, but the shapes are subtly different. And if you're really into the meta and you have a very accurate asteroid strategy, that might change a little bit. I personally don't particularly care that much about where I put the asteroids. I have a little bit of a strategy sometimes, but I don't pay that much attention to it. It's not that big of a deal to me. I usually try to leave the middle open if I'm want to stay in the middle, like with a turreted ship, and I usually try to make lanes if I have some kind of formation. And other than that, I just don't usually care. So what else is in the box? Well, we have our rules reference guide and our learn to play guide and a mission guide, which has some scenarios you can play. The learn to play guide is your basic instruction booklet. If you have not played the game before, this is a good place to start. The rules reference guide is one of the things that Fantasy Flight does, where they will basically outline all the specifics of the rules, and it's all alphabetized. And any keyword you're thinking of to look up, like boost, how exactly does boost work? And it'll give you some subtleties and some things that some basically obvious questions you may have. There are some changes in the rules reference guide now. Not very many, not many that are going to impact a lot of casual players, but more as far as like technical things. Like if you're going to attack now, you choose which secondary weapon you're going to use first, as opposed to just attacking first. The order of attacking has been adjusted slightly. But I haven't looked over the rules all that much, so I can't really tell you every rule that's been changed. I know there is a discussion about on the Fantasy Flight forums about what's going on there. Now we've got our 3 more dice for attack and 3 more dice for defense. That's pretty standard. There's no changes to the dice. But hey, if you already have one core set, now you have extra dice. So it's always good to have more dice. Now we have our pilots. We're going to take a look at some of these pilots, which we'll start at the back. We're going to look at the new TIE Fighter pilots first. Alright, so we've got our Epsilon Squadron pilot. Now, the Epsilon Squadron pilot is pilot skill 1, kind of like your Academy pilot, except he has one more shield. He also has the target lock action, and he can also take the new tech upgrade. All right, and this looks kind of like a short little droid head with antennas or something like that. We're going to see that basically every ship in this expansion has this slot, so this is a new universal type of upgrade. Now, he comes in at 15 points. He's 3 points more expensive than the cheapest regular TIE Fighter, but for those 3 points you gain target lock action and a shield. Now a shield upgrade by itself is 4 points, and a target lock would be another 2 points. So it's he's a pretty good value for what you get here. So 15 points, Epsilon Squadron pilot. Now we're gonna when we get 2 of those, we get 2 of all the of the regular TIE Fighter pilots. So 1 more point, we get Zeta Squadron. He's pilot skill 3. It's all the same stuff. When we get 2 of him. Then we've got Omega at 17 points. Now this guy has the elite talent right here, so that's one of the changes. It's not EPT anymore. Now I believe it's just elite. So we've got our pilot skill 4, similar to our old Black Squadron at 14. He comes in at 3 points more expensive as well. And that seems like it's just a general across the board 3-point increase. Now we get our first named pilot here, the Zeta Ace. Catherine Zeta-Jones is flying this ship, and she's fantastic, and she only marries older men. She costs 18 points, and I'm saying she because why not, right? I have no idea, but yeah. This is female. I'm coining it right here. Zeta Ace is Catherine Zeta-Jones, and she's a female pilot. When performing a barrel roll, you can use the 2 template instead of the 1 template. So that's pretty cool. It's the first time I've seen that. And it's also got the EPT, the Elite talent. So as a PS5, a little bit extra maneuverability there. We only get 1 of them because it's a unique. Next we have Epsilon Leader. And if you notice, this is a TIE/FO fighter, so it's a first order TIE. Still counts as a TIE fighter, can still take a TIE-only upgrade because it does count as a TIE. At the start of the combat phase, remove a stress token from each friendly ship at range 1. Really, really cool. That's like Wingman, but way better, because it works on everybody else. Great person to have in formation. A great guy to fly with if you're going to do K-turns. And it says each friendly ship. It doesn't say each other friendly ship. So it says each friendly ship. So that means himself, too. So he automatically removes his stress at the beginning of combat, even if you fly him by himself. This guy is a sleeper hero. He's fantastic. Okay. Next is the most amazing TIE fighter I've ever seen. And he's got the elite pilot. He is pilot skill 7, Omega Ace. Now he does have a point cost of 20. When attacking, you may spend a focus token and a target lock you have on the defender to change all of your results to crit results. Not just all of your hits to crits, all of your results. So if you can get, so if you have a target lock and you on somebody and you focus, then you automatically get 2 crits when you attack. If you're at range 1, you'll automatically get 3 crits. If you give him a pilot skill ability of like expose or something like that, you can automatically get 4 crits. Well, no, you'd have to use the action to expose, but there's just a lot of possibilities that are going to come out with this guy. Really, really cool card. I'm totally digging it, and it's one of the more powerful abilities I have seen, and it's just begging for combos and things. And you don't even need to combo because it can work by itself. Oh, wow. I'm so excited to play that guy. Now comes our T-70 X-Wings. Much like the old X-Wing, we have 3 attack, 2 defense, 3 hull, and 3 shields instead of 2 shields. We gain a shield. We also have astromech slots and torpedo slots, but in addition to that, we also have the tech slot. So like I said, every ship here has the tech slot. Now this guy's 3 points more than the regular X-Wing. The regular X-Wing was 21. The cheapest X-Wing here is 24, 3 points increase. So what we gain for that is we gain a shield, and we gain the boost action. Now boost is really good on an X-Wing, and it's one thing that people have wanted for a long time. So this is a great upgrade to the X-Wing, but it's also more expensive, so it's not necessarily making the X-Wing obsolete. Some people would say that this might make the K-Wing obsolete because it has 3 shields like the K-Wing, but even more hull, so it can't be taken out by a proton bomb. And it comes in at cheaper than the K-Wing too, so it'll be interesting. You know, it can't barrel roll, but it doesn't have the system slot. You know, I think the K-Wing can barrel roll. I don't have one in front of me right now. But that's your Blue Squadron Novice. Now you have your Red Squadron Veteran, who has the Elite, and he is also a 26. He's a pilot skill 4. So he is a little more expensive, but you can give him something like Veteran Instincts or some other elite pilot skill. All right, now we have Blue Ace, who is pilot skill 5, does not have the elite pilot skill, but when performing a boost action, you may use the hard one template. So instead of boosting forward, you can boost straight up to the side, which is really good. That's kind of like the Daredevil, but it doesn't require you to get a stress when doing it. Isn't it Daredevil? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, that's a really good arc dodging maneuverability ability. A maneuverability ability? A little bit redundant there. Okay. Now we have our Super Wedge 2.0 type guy from the movies, Poe Dameron. And he is coming in at 31 points. He is a pilot skill 8. Okay, so not quite as good as Wedge, right? Okay. While attacking or defending, if you have a focus token, you may change one of your eyeball results to a hit or a evade result. So if you have the focus, without spending it, you can automatically change one. Now, this ability is one that I don't fully appreciate right now. And it's going to probably take a little more play testing and everything to see how it's going to play out for me. Because he's a high pilot skill. Because he's a pilot skill 8, he's going to shoot first, so he's going to be tempted to use his focus right away. So this is encouraging him to not use his focus for attack. Because if he gets attacked, he's kind of got the Luke Skywalker ability built in here. He can, as long as he's got the focus, he can save it and get one free focus for defense every time. Or if he attacks and he only needs one focus, well then he can get that one without having to spend the focus token. But I don't know. This would synergize really well if something let him keep a focus on him, or if there's some other way to get a focus on him. But I don't know. It's an interesting ability, and I think it's just built to combo with other things better. Because by itself, in a game using stuff in just the base set or in a lot of games, he's going to shoot first or close to first. And if he rolls 3 focuses, then he spends his focus and his abilities gone. If or if he's not shot at, then his ability doesn't really count. So I don't know. I have mixed emotions on him. I think the TIE Fighter's got the better skills out of the ships in this set. We also have our new rangefinder. It is exactly the same as the old rangefinder, so there you go. Alright, and now we got some upgrades. Not a whole lot of upgrades in this. There's only 5 upgrade cards, and one of them is just the Proton Torpedo, which we've already seen. That's old, so that's not new. So we have 4 new. we have one of our tech upgrades. This is weapon guidance, and this is the only tech upgrade we've seen yet. It is a 2-point upgrade, and it says when attacking, you may spend a focus token to change one of your blank results to a hit result. Again, something else that has very little synergy with Poe Dameron. But, well, I mean a little bit, but not a whole lot, you know. But it's good. It's an extra alternate use for a focus. And it works really well if you can somehow get more than one focus. You know, Kyle Katarn may make a comeback. Now we have a unique astromech here, R5X3, and he only costs 1, so a cheap little astromech. Before you reveal your maneuver, you may discard this card to ignore obstacles until the end of the round. Very cool, very very good insurance if you're not the best pilot or if you just know you have to plow through an asteroid. And it says ignore them into the end of the round, so that means you can even fire while on an asteroid. Now we've got the star, my favorite character so far from the films, BB-8. And he costs 2. When you reveal a green maneuver, you may perform a free barrel roll action. This is huge for X-Wings, especially the new T-70 X-Wing, because they don't have barrel roll. So this lets you barrel roll for free when you're doing a green maneuver. It's a great way to get out of stuff. It's a great way to... Wow, it would really synergize well with the blue ace, right? Because he could do a green maneuver, barrel roll, and then do a boost with the hard 1 and really change up his maneuver. So very cool option. And now Wired, which is an elite talent here. It only costs 1. When attacking or defending, if you are stressed, you may re-roll 1 or more of your eyeball results. Now that's a great talent to have. It's a great 1-point talent to have, and it works really well with anybody who's stressed. It's not going to work as well with the new TIE Fighter that clears stress, but that's fine. It's going to work a lot better with, you know, you can't use it in conjunction with Push the Limit all that well, although it could work with A-Wings that have the 2 elite pilot skills and Push the Limit. But it will have synergy with some other cards that will give you stress for some other benefit. So it's, and for a 1-point elite talent, it's pretty cool. Because that's one of those things that's going to trigger every time you're attacked or defense. So it's going to work well if you attack more than one time. All right, now, one of the coolest things about this, or most significant things, is we have a new damage deck. Now, this damage deck is a slightly different color here in the background. It's got like a hint of blue. Just a hint of blue compared to the old damage decks. But what's really cool is we have some new cards. Like Shaken Pilot. They got rid of some of the stuff. Like there were complaints that some of the old damage deck cards weren't very powerful. You know, for example, losing a secondary weapon. A lot of ships didn't take secondary weapons. So what were you gonna do? You know, if you got that, it was like it wasn't even a crit. So there's a lot of new stuff now. We've got some of the same ones, like direct hits are still there. We still got a lot of those. We still got the major explosions. Roll an extra die. When attacking, roll 1 fewer attack die. This is much better than the old reduce your primary weapon value, because this will impact secondary weapons as well. The other one that reduced your primary weapon value didn't matter if you were using a cannon or something like that. Nobody cared, right? So these are more going to. These seem like they're more designed to affect everyone. After you execute a white maneuver, receive a stress token. Right? That's interesting. Everybody has white maneuvers. Not everybody has red maneuvers, and there were certain things that just turned, made a lot of things that would affect certain cards that you might not even have. Okay, receive a stress token. All right, no problem. Not all of these are really that bad, but they're more designed to impact everybody. This is one of the coolest ones, the Shaken Pilot. During the planning phase, you cannot be assigned straight maneuvers. When you reveal a maneuver, flip this card down. Now, if you're ionized, you're not actually revealing a maneuver. So I wonder how that's, some of these are just really, really hurtful. And basically now if you have this new damage deck, you are supposed to use it. It's supposed to be a complete upgrade for the old damage deck, and some people will be complaining, I'm sure, because now they have to get a new core set if they want to play in a tournament. Well, it's not that expensive. It's it's a good deal because you're getting 3 ships for the price of 2, basically, and one extra purchase isn't too much to ask. Besides, if you're playing in a tournament, you had to have more than just a core set anyway, because you need 100 points. So everybody needs a new damage deck. It's not too much to ask. It improves the game greatly. These cards are also numbered. They look slightly different, and just enough that you would be able to tell if somebody's using an old one versus using a new one. And you know, and then you get a copy of the new rules, so that's good. And you get these amazing ships. Amazing ships. And now I'm going to compare the old with the new. So first off, we've got our old damage card versus our new damage card. So the explosion is much bigger. The subtle blue in the background isn't that much of a big deal, but it's the explosion is significantly bigger. And then on the card itself, the new ones have a slight little numbering in the corner, whereas the old ones don't have the numbering. Okay, so I've got the old X-Wing model here. This is actually the one that comes with the GR75. Just has the slightly different paint job. But we can take a look at the engines. The engines are different on both of them. All right, that's one of the biggest differences. And then the nose piece is slightly different. But not that different. Just a little different. The cockpit's a little bit longer on the new T70. But not too many differences. Let's look at the TIE Fighter. Here we've got, obviously the wings are different. Looking up kind of closely, I can see that it's basically the same design, although some of the detail in the veining is slightly different on the new one, so it might actually be a new sculpt that's just based on the old one. Yeah, and the way where the cockpit connects to the panels has got a little bit of difference in just some of the detail, so I think it is actually a new sculpt. If we look in the back here, you can see that's the old and this is the new. Slightly different. Really very, very, very similar. Not many differences at all. And of course we can't see the gun on the bottom because that's where the peg is. But yeah, a lot of us thought, oh, that's another big thing, is on the bottom here it has more guns right below the cockpit. More guns right below the cockpit. A little bit different gun shape, at least. Alright. Well, that is our new course set. 3 ships for the price of 2, or the price of 2.5 if you bought it at full retail, which you probably have to right now. If you wait a little while, you can probably get it cheaper. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe and all this good stuff if you want to see more stuff like this. Thank you very much. Have a great day.